Hi everybody to my kitchen. Happy Labor Day, and stop button and stuff to get us on the air. That's kind of a couple of minutes. Dogs are still here too. It's fun when the stream's about to start fighting. This is in away from it was so you guys here doing some sirloin steaks. I don't remember if that was Unit Collectibles or Gideus or somebody else. Do Wagyu steak. I looked at them and I said steak that I'm going to looked better than the Wagyu, except for the Wagyu, which was 8 pounds for $50 a pound. New York strip steaks tonight. So messing up. So on that hard. We sound wise. Everybody sound. That hopefully pick up sound. It's cutting out. It's still cutting out. He just looks to feed. I'm really sorry about that. We're just gonna try, and Robbie fiddling with stuff. It'll fit. Not, we'll get the and use the that, and hopefully maybe this camera out. Yeah. Not stream with your sound. So anyway, you on the starting screen, strip steaks. We have to restart the stream. Every other second is okay. Robbie has so he is listen on his phone. Okay, is this one then instead? We're gonna switch here. Maybe stream. Did we need to do
this other camera?
Okay, so 1 second here. All right, hang on 1 second here. I don't even know which camera am I. Okay.
Does it sound any better?
So there we go. Is that Ohio OMG Pete? How are you? Okay, so that's better. Okay, so we're just gonna stick with the cell phone camera instead of the actual camera then tonight. It just means we might not have some close-ups unless we're able to move that around somehow. Yes, so steak. We're doing steak, and we're going to do make some pimento cheese and stuff some sweet peppers with them, and we're going to do some kale gratin, and we're also going to do like a sundae with some ginger ice cream that is in the refrigerator. The ice cream base is in the refrigerator already, and some grilled pineapples, and I think I've got some potatoes too that we're going to be doing on the grill. So there we go. I'm glad. Good. Sound is better. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to start is I'm actually going to do mise en place tonight because there's a lot of things to cut, and I just don't want to get anything contaminated by moving meat and stuff around. So we're going to start by cutting up a bunch of stuff for all of the things that we are making tonight. And I'm going to start with some red pepper. Now, the red pepper is actually going to be for the pimento cheese. You can actually use pimento peppers if you can find them. They're a little bit more challenging, or you can also do some roasted red peppers, or you can use sweet peppers, those little sweet peppers like this. You can use as well when you're making your pimento cheese. I'm just going to use the red pepper tonight for that. And So it's desynced, it's by 3/4 of a second. I am gonna make homemade pimento cheese. All right, so for the sound stuff, I'm just gonna let Robbie go over here. He's throwing his hands up in the air, so we don't know. We've literally been working on that for about 40 minutes tonight, trying to get that to not be a problem. So he has read everything he can on it. All right, so the red pepper is, he says it's not bad, but delayed by 3/4 of a second. Okay, so we're gonna start by doing about 1/3 of a cup of this, of the red pepper, and that's gonna be for our pimento cheese. And I think the fastest way to dice a red pepper is to take that bottom part off. Of course, we don't want any of that white stuff. That's not tasty and everything. Oh, well, good. I'm glad you're going to hang out even with the video and the audio quality. It's not working very well. Hopefully I'll have a new camera soon, because I did order, since we're going to go on a 2-week trip here at the end of September, I ordered a streaming backpack so we can still hang with you guys, and hopefully maybe do a little cooking on the road, but definitely showing you places, the kind of places we like to go to eat. So hopefully they'll let us do that. So what is everybody up to this weekend? Has anybody done anything fun for Labor Day? Because I worked yesterday. That was what I did yesterday. I don't even know, what are we doing tomorrow? Oh my goodness, that's Rocky. He has just now picked up his food bowl and is carrying it around. He's a character. So Morphine Bear says happy birthday, Robbie.
Thank you.
It's like, see, there's something good in old karate movies, right? I can say something and then you get the translation of it, but it's not saved. So one of the things I used to do is sleep. Sleep is a good activity. One of the things I used to do was do voiceovers. Hang on one second. I forgot to get this out since I'm gonna be scooping up a bunch of stuff. I used to do voiceovers for the English voiceovers for anime cartoons. I did that for a few of them. Kelsey did too, and my son still does it. So that's kind of cool, but you have to work really hard to get those flaps to match what you're saying. You have the thing going off on one end, and they're like, make your lines match what their mouth is doing. So you can just pretend like it's a badly edited anime show. So I'm trying to keep an eye on what's going on over there and what you guys are saying. So I'm feeling a little distracted. So sleep. Okay, so Aladdin's girl slept. Did anybody else do anything other than work like me? And not only did I work, but two of my clients didn't come. So, and of course it's the ones first thing in the morning when, I really would have rather been sleeping. But anyway, well, thank you, Robbie, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Are you going to make me spin the wheel? Are you going to give the puppies treats?
We might get puppies treats in a little bit.
Yeah, it's a wise move on his part.
She is cooking the food. I need to be careful.
I'm cooking the food, and also it's my house, so. I bet that's a little weird. Yep. You have a food request, Morphine Bear. What is your food request? Well, thank you, Love Tour. Thank you for following. I think I got that right. My screen's a little off to the side, but I don't want to get in front of the camera. There we go. All right, I'm gonna need an onion for one of my for one of the things we're making today. So I'm gonna go ahead and chop that. Here's, you want to see Rocky? Everybody wants to see Rocky, right? There he is. There's Rocky.
You need to open your mouth and bark late.
Corn ribs. Have you ever heard of corn ribs? What are corn ribs? I've never heard of such a thing. Joyce, any idea what corn ribs are? Apparently Rocky is now in charge of the stream because he is sitting on the stool over there where Robbie usually sits. So it might get interesting very quickly here. Quarter the corn and then grill. So you mean like through the cob, you quarter it that way, and then it's like long and skinny, but force. Oh, and they curl up like ribs. Interesting. I have not heard of that. That's pretty interesting. All right, the onions are going to be for the kale, I believe. Ooh, you know what I need? Can you turn the oven on to 400? Because I do need to get some garlic going in there too. This is when Robbie comes in handy. And he comes in handy for a lot of things. Getting tall things off of the top shelf. Not tall things. I mean, he can't get tall things, but also short things off of the top shelf. So that, yeah, so I haven't yet, so interesting. Well, maybe we'll try that next corn season. We're kind of getting out of corn season, so corn isn't quite as tasty in the stores around here as it was a few weeks ago. Because we're getting to the end of summer. Which honestly, in Texas, is kind of a welcome thing because it's been so hot lately. I was in Seattle and it was so nice because the high in Seattle was lower than the low here in Texas. So, yeah. Robbie's shaking his head yes. Back there. Oh, the screaming goat. Can you guys hear that? It's not quite. So this, we thought maybe the sound thing that we had, the sound plug-in, or what do you call it? It's not called a plug-in. Extension was causing some of the audio problems, but clearly that's not the main issue. We got some sound. If you guys watch Alton Brown, and I know you do it, Aladdin's Girl, we actually got a screaming goat. So, but he's not as loud as I thought he would be. I thought he'd be louder. So, we're doing homemade sounds. So when you redeem a sound now, it's going to be homemade from over here. Robbie's got them over by him. So, yep. But I had not heard of corn ribs. That's pretty interesting. Now I'm going to try it. I'm going to try that on the grill. All right. So I've got that. I need to mince a jalapeno. This is for, what is this for? I think this is for the pimento cheese. I don't always remember. Oh, it was on TikTok? I don't watch a whole lot of TikTok. People send me videos. That's really the only time I watch them. It's hard to keep up with all the social medias. What's going on everywhere. So, all right. So apparently, Aladdin's Girl is the only one who did anything this weekend. I kept trying to, if you look on, I know I put it on the Discord, but I can't remember if I put it on anything else, but maybe on Instagram. But I made Robbie he loves Texas shaped waffles, and I made one for him this morning.
And it was delicious.
And it was delicious, except he didn't eat it until he got up at
Like breakfast o'clock.
like 1:30.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah. And we did a strawberry. Which was really good the second day too, according to Robbie. The steak that we made.
Oh, the steak, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you guys haven't checked out, we were watching Kanara's cooking show earlier today, and she is this month on, I guess, what is today? Today is Sunday, right? On Sundays, I guess she's cooking stuff from the Friends cookbook. Did you know there was such a thing, a Friends cookbook?
I mean, I only did because I saw her stream. So, yes.
I don't know, how did Friends become such a big thing again? Like, why did everybody get back into that? I remember watching that when it was the original, when it was on originally. When you didn't have on-demand streaming.
Really had internet back then, so long ago.
I know. I remember those days. I remember those days. Okay. What else do I gotta do? A lot. You know what? I am going to actually start. I'm going to get one of the things for this red wine reduction sauce for the steak. And let me show you the steaks because they look good. If you didn't see the picture of them, but they look really good. I'm letting them sit out and come to room temperature here. We can get them out of that plastic bag now. You know what? I'm going to put them in here because that's my trash. So we've got these nice New York strip steaks, and the Wagyu steaks didn't have as much marbling going on in them, and I really like my steaks when I'm doing them on the cast iron. I like them to have a lot of marbling in it. How much for these? $37 for the two of them. So yes, they are very thick, but that makes it good because then they don't overcook. But now I'm going to wash my hands because I just had meat on my hands. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to roast some garlic for the red wine reduction sauce. So the red wine reduction sauce is going to have butter and let me take a look because I want to make sure I say everything right. It's going to have red wine, rosemary, butter, and lemon in it. And garlic, obviously. So we're going to take a head of garlic. If you've never roasted garlic in the oven, what's really nice about it is that it breaks down, and so then you can kind of squeeze it out, and it's like garlic paste, and it has a nice roasted flavor to it. So when you're doing that, what you want to do with your garlic is you want to kind of chop off the top part of it and expose the cloves. So you expose all the top of the cloves like that. And you need some foil. And then you need some olive oil. And you want to just kind of generously put that over the top of it. A couple tablespoons or so. I do a little pepper and I do a little salt on mine as well. Most food, by the way, absorbs the flavors of the salt or any of the other flavors when it's warm and when it's cooking. So you want to do it while you're cooking it. It's why we salt our water rather than putting salt on things afterwards. We can do both. But things like pasta and potatoes and vegetables will actually absorb some of those flavors, so it has the flavors all the way through it. And you almost always want to do and put your herbs and all of that stuff in while things are warm, because of that, because of that. You don't put salt on anything.
It sounds like me.
Interesting. That does sound like Robbie, who thinks a pinch is like that much. All right. So the oven isn't quite warm enough. I'm gonna put that in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. And that way it'll be ready and cool enough to handle when we do the sauce after we're done with the steaks. Because we got a lot to make. Because I'm a little crazy that way. And just so you know, before we started the stream earlier today, what I did is I made the ice cream base, and I just made a vanilla ice cream base, and I did a custard style base which has eggs in it, and I added turmeric and ginger to it. This is kind of a meal that is paying attention and putting a lot of anti-inflammatory ingredients into it, because while I was in Seattle, well, we had sushi one night and a couple of nights of eating good dinners. Overall, we didn't eat very healthy at all. And so my inflammation in my fingers was really hurting. So this week I'm really paying attention to put things into my meals that have a lot of anti-inflammatory things like ginger and turmeric and black pepper. Let's see, what else am I putting in there? Things like peppers. The capsaicin typically has some pain relieving qualities to it. And so yeah, so that's kind of where this dinner is going. And actually the recipes for the steaks and the kale actually come from this cookbook, which is Michael Simon's cookbook. So if you have problems with inflammatory diseases, with arthritis or anything like that, this book has some great, just super tasty recipes for it. And honestly, he's got a 10-day thing where he has all the recipes and the grocery list and everything written out for you. And I never felt better after those 10 days of it, but it's really hard because it's no gluten, no alcohol, no sugar, no dairy, and I think and meat, so it was a vegetarian diet. But they're all delicious. Like, I wasn't hungry on it at all. So yeah. So there you go. Okay, so that's ready to go into the oven. I do need to mince up a bunch more garlic for a couple more recipes. Garlic is always good for you too. What's up with you, Robbie? I didn't even tell you, he's like my part-time, dishwasher, as well as my full-time. He does this all the time now, like The Witcher. But he does it better than I do. Ugh. There you go. So, I don't know what that says, that he's been doing it a lot. So, do you guys have any favorite dishes that you make over, like, Labor Day, Memorial Day, like, are there into summer things? Because I'm not ready for pumpkin spice anything yet.
That's your favorite.
I like pumpkin spice, actually. I don't like it on everything. Robbie and I once went to a Mexican food restaurant here in town, and they took it just one step too far. That's when I lost it on the whole pumpkin spice thing. Because before I'd go get my coffee with pumpkin spice. I might have a dessert that was pumpkin spice, and then they had pumpkin spice margaritas, and I was like, "That's it.
You're over it. You're done.
We've gone too far." Normal day for you? Okay. My family used to go, I think I said this in the last one, but we used to go out and with friends, and that was when I was really little. I don't remember that too much. Go on to some resort that had a pool where everybody could sit by the pool or swim. But I have worked on a lot of Labor Days since then. How many of you guys would try a pumpkin spice margarita? Because we did not.
I'd probably try one.
We didn't that day.
Well, no. But I would. I don't know if I'd order it again.
Just to try it?
Just to
I know you like
see if
pumpkin
it's
pie.
a good idea or not. I do like pumpkin pie. But unlike you, it doesn't need to be pumpkin spice.
Everything.
Everything necessarily.
Right?
It's not very often I have a margarita I don't like, but it does happen.
Occasionally. You mean like the one when we were on our way to Arkansas? Did you like that margarita?
No, that was.
We went to a restaurant and ordered margaritas, and basically it tasted like country time lemonade, where they waved the tequila over the top of it, but didn't actually pour any into the drink. And then when we got the bill, the margaritas were, what was it, $2?
I think so.
$2, and we're like, probably country time lemonade, probably just that.
Not, fresh squeezed lime juice and
No.
triple sec and all that fun stuff.
No. Yep, you do not get a good margarita for $2.
Or $1 at certain places that we won't name.
Was it only $1?
No. I'm saying other places.
Oh, other places.
But we won't talk.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Apparently we're not talking about it. What is Rocky doing over there?
He's just living his best life, being relatively quiet, which is always nice.
I mean, I think he's eating his food bowl though.
Well,
You would think that he would prefer to have food than just eating his food bowl. But sometimes. All right, so garlic. Garlic is going into, this garlic will be going into the kale, and then also into the potatoes. I don't think it's going, and also, no, because that's got garlic powder. So we'll have garlic flavored in the pimento cheese. I promise you I'll get to that. I think we'll chop up the cheese for the pimento cheese and get that into the refrigerator. Pimento cheese is one of those things that once you make it, it's even better the second day. So if you can make it a day ahead of time, that would be good. Do you guys like pimento cheese? It had to grow on me. We did a cheese board at a restaurant, and it was like all these like southern type cheeses, and pimento cheeses was one of them on it. It was really good. If it's homemade, it's really, really good. Margaret. Was I not there at that place? I will not order a $1 margarita.
you do get what you pay for sometimes.
Yes. I mean, the lime juice is going to cost you more than $1. Not to mention, then you've got tequila. Hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. Down here in Texas, if you don't make a good margarita, we're out.
Yeah, you definitely will not be going back there.
No.
It's what, margarita, the
Chips, salsa.
and then the food.
Yeah. And I like places that like make their salsa. They fire roast all the vegetables beforehand. It's really good that way. I know we've made several kinds of salsas on here over the summer. What are some things? So we're going to be doing the States tonight, but do you guys have some fall favorites? Because I think soon we're going to delve into, to start diving into kind of fall food. Still going to have tacos. Still going to have burgers because, I mean,
Yummy.
they're tacos. They're burgers. And tacos are just one of those wonderful, versatile, make it kind of thing. So anything you would like to see? Because I did, let's see, grilled turkey legs. Healthy. healthy, grilled. Do something different with the sides. Baked potato soup. I love baked potato soup. Do you prefer like baked potato leek soup or more of a like a baked potato loaded soup? Let's see, what do I want to do next? We'll do shallot next. And the shallot, I believe that is for the potatoes. This is one of my favorite shallots and green onions. So I'm going to be chopping some green onions too. I think we sometimes forget, we don't need onion for something. Using shallots or using green onions are a great way to not waste anything. And they taste just as good. I don't see it in enough recipes. There's some things, I'll tell you, who used a lot of this was we were doing Blue Apron for a few months. They had a lot of green onions and a lot of shallots. I love to see that on the recipes as well. Yes, sir, New York Strip. Hi, Mr. Maynard. I'm sorry, the Mr. Maynard. Welcome in.
Yes.
Not just anyone, just the Mr. Maynard. Yep, we're going to get to the steaks in a little bit. It's going to have a red wine reduction with it that's got garlic and butter and lemon. And right now I'm just chopping up some vegetables. So that I get a head start, so I'm not trying to play catch up while I'm. So there's also I like to cut shallots because I can cut them really fast. Much faster than an onion. And I'm going to have leftovers of here because there's a lot of extra stuff. But that means this week when I'm cooking, I won't have to cut stuff so fast. Braising chicken in Italian dressings. Okay, maybe I'll make the Italian dressing instead. But I love the shortcuts when you can use, something like a dressing as your marinade or as your braising liquid. Yeah, that's a great thing. So, all right. So, what else do I need over here? We're going to start on getting stuff ready for the pimento cheese. So, first ingredient in pimento cheese is cheddar cheese. I have cheddar cheese. We've already done our red peppers. And like I said, if you can buy pimento peppers, or you can use red pepper, like fire roasted red peppers, that also works great. And I need about 8 ounces. How many ounces is this? It's exactly 8 ounces, so that makes it good. Now, if you've ever had pimento cheese, and I grew up in Texas, so I had, but I was surprised about people who didn't live in the South, who have not had it. I think the easiest way to chop the cheese is first to slice it, because you want it in those nice little strips in the pimento cheese. So I always slice it first, and then I start cutting it smaller, because you don't want to shred the cheese. It won't be the right texture. Or at least I have not found a shredder yet that has the right texture to it. All right, other ideas for food for the fall?
It seems like fall is so far away, but it's really not.
It's not. It's in a couple of weeks. Some people think it's fall already.
Meteorological, whatever you say, meteorological fall.
But what?
The weathermen call it fall.
Oh, they call it fall.
And meteorology.
I don't know how 90 degrees plus counts as fall. So do you think fall starts when the weather changes, or is it a date? Is it
I'm
a
thinking
holiday?
it's that first real good cold front.
Okay.
for me, anyway.
Are you guys still having summer weather where you are? I didn't cut this very, very straight.
You walk outside and you say burr, and you've got to go grab like a jacket or something.
I mean, here that might be 80 degrees. Hey, get down. Rocky, you may not have the steaks. Get down. He can smell the steaks. What do you want me to cook, Robbie?
I can't really think of a lot of fall time foods. I just think of like pumpkins and cold weather and Halloween and football.
I can't cook football. But we could do like, on a Sunday, we could do food to eat while you're watching football. Rocky, get down. All right, so I want my, like, these may even be a little big. I might make them a little bit smaller, but, which I'm not going to do right here because it's going to be tedious. But you want to make your cheese, I don't know if you can see that, pretty small, but you want it to be like little tiny sliced cheese. Homemade pumpkin and pecan pie. I can do that. I almost always make my pumpkin pie from scratch, but you know what I haven't done? I haven't actually gotten the pumpkin. Like I get the pumpkin, not the pie filling, but just the pumpkin, packed pumpkin. But maybe it'd be fun to try to do it with the pumpkin itself. You know, cooking the pumpkin, making that. Pumpkin bars with cream cheese frosting, also good. Good. I'm hearing lots of desserts, so winter's full of sugar and pumpkin. This could take all day. I'm going to try and do this a little faster.
I've got the Band-Aids standing by.
Do you? Yeah, if you missed it, I may have cut myself several times while I was in Seattle with Kelsey. Not on the air. One just pulling the knife out of the drawer, and the other while washing it. So, because I didn't have my dishwasher with me.
I had the evening off.
Yes, you did. And every other evening. So PAX is almost over. Kelsey said it's been going good for those of you who know my daughter. That's what she told me today. So I'm happy about that for them.
They'll be able to breathe again soon.
Yes.
The rush will be over.
Kelsey will start her new job. That'll be cool. There, that was a little faster, huh?
No injuries.
No injuries so
nice.
far. I still have more. Thank you, Makawaka. Makawaka?
There you go.
Makawaka, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the group. They're quiet today, but that's okay. Some days it's just quiet. Some days I get up and I'm like, I feel like doing nothing, and I just watch TV, stay in my pajamas, and there's nothing wrong with that. And Robbie can't complain because some days he sleeps until 1:30 and gets his waffle and breakfast at 1:30. You did get up though with the dog at 6.
I did.
Although you were asleep out here. I was like, do you want to go back to? Oh, you are asleep on the
I
couch.
was asleep.
Yes. Your eyes were closed and you were snoring.
She just likes to tell stories, Rocky.
I tell them on myself too. All right. So, if you just got here, we're making steak, and we're going to be doing that in a minute. Right now, I'm making some pimento cheese from scratch, and we're going to let that kind of go back. We're going to put that back in the refrigerator and let the flavors mix a little bit, and then put them into some sweet peppers, just to do something different with it, rather than bread. Although there's also tortilla chips, so
If you would prefer tortilla chips to red peppers, you can do that
All
too.
kinds of options.
There are options. All right, you know what I do need to do? I need to put the garlic in the oven. And I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes because I forgot to do that. Oh, that's not how you start the timer. Okay.
One of these days she'll get it.
I've only had the ovens for 3 years. Almost 3 years. Maybe by 3 years I'll remember how to start the timer. Well, hello, Uncle Thomas.
You have lots of children you didn't know.
Apparently, I do. Welcome to the kitchen. Do you like steak? Because that's what we're going to be making here in a little bit. Right now, we're making the pimento cheese. Steak is awesome.
And if for some reason you don't like steak, there's ice cream later too.
There is ice cream. And I've already got the base going. And the reason why, by the way, I've made the base a couple of times on stream, and we'll do it again sometime when I plan on being on for a longer time, but it really needs, in order for it to get that real creamy texture, it actually needs to go into the refrigerator and completely cool down, which takes about 3 hours. And you can't put it in the refrigerator right way because then you'll drop the temperature in the refrigerator, which you don't want to do. So you gotta let it cool down and then put it in the refrigerator before you churn it. So there you go. So where are you from, Uncle Thomas? And what about you, Makawaka?
How'd you find us?
Yeah, how'd you find us? What brought you here to my kitchen here in North Texas?
It was the smell of the cheese.
I smelled pimento cheese being made, which I'm probably just going to make right in this bowl. Tea and Crumpet Land. Oh, from across the pond then? Does anybody here watch Restaurant Impossible? Because Rob and I went to one of the restaurants after the transformation, before it went on the air. And they redid a restaurant called From Across the Pond. That's what reminded me of that. So that's just my head going.
Makes sense.
So, thank you, Uncle Thomas. Welcome to the Kitchen Club. I don't know, what are we calling ourselves?
I don't know.
He doesn't know either. Like, I hear people calling themselves squads and all sorts of things, but I haven't come up with anything yet. So, behind me, yes, that is Rocky here. Robbie is going to pick up Rocky and show you him. Hey.
He's so friendly.
Are you friendly? Hey. Watch. Hey. Watch. Up here. Hey. Watch. You're not looking. You wait. Good boy. So, he's pretty quiet for him right now. Okay, so what we have here is we have our 8 ounces of cheddar cheese, and we are going to put in about 1/3 of a cup of these red peppers that I chopped up. It's pretty easy. I like this. Oh, I have my minced jalapeno here, and then I'm going to get some pickled jalapeno out too, and use some of the vinegar from that. Got to get a whole lot. So I'm going to pour a little bit of that in here. How much of that does it want me to have? About 3 teaspoons. Okay. Do you just want that? I think that's all it wants. Okay. Make sure it's still good. Do you guys like, I love pickled jalapenos. What were you waving at?
Hot and ready.
Oh, hot and ready? Oh, hi, hot and ready. How are you? I didn't even see you sneak in there. Welcome. You probably saw we're making steak. I'm making pimento cheese. So, and I'm going to add, these are pickled jalapenos. They're so good. Pickled jalapenos are so, so good. When you want kind of a jalapeno flavor, but you don't want it to be too spicy, and then it adds a little acid to it because it's pickled. So we're going to add a little bit of that. And like I said, I use a little of the vinegar in there. We're also going to need some mayo because why not make it less healthy? And there it is. I didn't get it out front, so it's in the back of my refrigerator. I'm going in.
Ooh, fridge can.
Ta-ta. I know we don't have a fridge can. What's up with that? I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup in there. It's probably about a quarter of a cup. Cheap mayo. I don't usually buy cheap mayo, but there you go. And then I'm going to need, I'm going to get the spices out for this. I got part of that garlic powder and paprika. I like to use the sweet paprika when I'm making pimento cheese rather than these, rather than smoked paprika, but you could use either one. And if you're new here, a lot of times a teaspoon too much of both of these in here. It is out of sync, and we worked really hard to try and get it in sync. Robbie has done a lot of work today, and at least we got the sound to work and not cut out. But that's what we got today. So, sorry about that. So, yeah, this is better than our other camera. So, we don't have two cameras today. Once again, we don't know what is going on. You take care of him. Now, he's deciding that he's going to eat the bug.
Need more food.
He shouldn't. He had 2 big bowls of food, but try and feed him. I think he's just tired. I think fall is making Rocky tired earlier and earlier. He goes to bed relatively early anyway. He goes to bed around 7. And we don't keep him up past that because he's just not pleasant. He starts just getting agitated by everything. Did you
Those
get one?
Velociraptor puppies.
I know. I wish somebody had told me he was part Velociraptor before I took him, but they didn't. All right.
So this is the pepper stuffing.
This is going to be stuffing for the peppers. But it's pimento cheese, so you can put some crackers. You know what else this is really good on? This is really good to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Is that an option? You're like, not today. Not.
I don't have any bread.
You're already making about 10 different things.
I already put too much on the list to make. Alright, I'm just going to stick that in there. That's pretty good. So that's pimento cheese, and then what we're going to do in a little bit, and I'll just go ahead and wrap these real quick, is we're going to stick them in these nice little sweet peppers. But you can choose, like I said, crackers. It's great with chips. Hey, but. And so there's 2 ways you can do these peppers. You can cut the top off, and then just slice it down the middle and clean them out. Right, so we can do them this way. And I just stabbed myself with the knife.
What?
I just stabbed myself. It's not bleeding. Or if you're making a tray, you want to make them really, really pretty and easy to pick up, like for an appetizer, on an appetizer plate. My board is getting dirty over here. The other way you can do this is you can keep the top and kind of slice down through the middle here. And don't cut your fingers off. Like I'm doing. and then it looks kind of cute because it's got a little handle there to pick it up. Robbie's looking at me like I've lost it.
It's like watching you use the mandolin.
He just,
Stresses me out.
I know, but you know what? I have one of those gloves now, so he doesn't. I don't like using the little thing on the mandolin.
The guard.
The guard. I use it, but I use it for you, so that you don't, freak out. So we'll stuff those in a little bit, and just let that cheese start to, like all the sugar start to melt in the refrigerator and for it to get really cold again. Did you know that when things are cold, you don't taste them as much? Which makes perfect sense to me, that our receptors in our tongue don't read flavors as strongly when it's cold. Because I think of beer, like when you drink it really cold, it's really good, but then it can be really bitter when it's warm. Now, if you're from across the pond, you probably like it that way, but yeah. A Band-Aid emote next? There you go. Band-Aid emote. Where were you when we were having discussions about this the last 2 days? Oh, by the way, do you want to show them? We have, we treated out the steak emote, and we've got one of Kelsey when she was looking at me when I was streaming from there, and I said something, all of you guys said, "Oh, we didn't hear you say that." When she looked at me like this, and she was like, and we also have the one of the look that Robbie gives me all the time.
That's behind the scenes.
Yeah, there you go. So that's, oops, yours is dark. Maybe we need to do it, lighten it up some. See, I thought that was pretty bright. I guess not. Live and learn. Live and learn. Okay, so next I'm actually going to start with the potatoes. The potatoes are going to be grilled, which means that Robbie's going to have to go start the grill here in a little bit. He doesn't need to start this second. But what I'm going to do first with the potatoes is parboil them. And get a pot out for that.
No.
I mean, I'm not even on the screen. I'm still here. Robbie is still here. We're all still here.
You're not the sync when you're off screen, though.
Oh, that's right. I'm in sync when you can't see me, aren't I? Okay, so I'm using small red potatoes, and when you start potatoes, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, you want to start boiling your potatoes in cold water. And there's actually a scientific reason for this. I don't like that potato. We're not using that one. When we put it into boiling water, the outside of the potato cooks so much faster than the inside because it takes a little while for the heat to get on the inside of the potato. And therefore you can end up with more, like if you're mashing the potatoes, they can end up a little more gluey tasting. And the reason why we want to parboil them before we stick them on the grill is so that we get, I don't know if you've ever had this, but potatoes, they're supposed to be like oven crispy, but they feel more like it's more papery on the outside. And it has to do with the way the starches break down in the potatoes versus the, I think it's pectin that holds it together. So we are going to get these started. And I'm going to put salt in there because I want these to really, since we're only going to be cutting these in half, I want the salt flavor to go all the way through the potatoes, which it will if I cook the salt in there. If I just put it on afterwards, I'm only going to get that salt flavor on the outside of the potatoes. So, yeah, I mean, Robbie looks at me like that all the time. But, you know, we're still new at making these emotes, so I'm looking at these going, yeah.
There you go. There's
Yeah,
another.
but we need a Band-Aid one for sure. That's perfect. Why didn't we think of that? So, okay, I'm gonna get those started. While that's going, I'm going to make the stuff. We're gonna toss these in before we put them on the grill. I'm gonna let these go, once it starts boiling, I'm gonna let it go for about 5 minutes with the potatoes, because I don't want them to get too cooked. Like, I don't want them to start falling apart. So if you ever cooked potatoes too long on the stove, they start to really fall apart on you, and then you just end up with mush and no way to drain them. And so you don't want to overcook them because it breaks down the starches too much. You want them to break down enough so that they pop, and then you get the fluffy potato on the inside. Okay, so we need 4 cloves of garlic minced-ish. Since I minced all my garlic up at once. Oops, we don't want that in our garlic. Look at that, that's so lovely. Seeing the trash. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And that. And then I need about a 1/4 cup of, oh, actually, I only need to put 2 of those in here because we're going to be making another sauce with this. So I'm going to take out some of that. And then we're going to put in about 1/8 of a cup of the olive oil. I'm just guessing there. And what I did not chop yet are my scallions. So I need to pull those out. And chop a bunch of these. Rocky is busy. Maybe he needs a little nap. You don't need rubber bands. Yeah. I always like to. I wonder. I read a lot because I like to know, why do I do it that way? Because for years there's so many things that I was just told do it this way, but I didn't know why. Oops. And so, I'm putting that in the wrong one now. And so I got it. That's the trash over there. Sometimes he deserves it. So. But I like to find out why do you start potatoes on cold water? I actually did not learn it that way. My mom would start boiling water, but I kept seeing all these chefs talking about put it in cold water first. So I looked it up. What does this one call for? This one calls for about 1/4 cup of scallions. That's probably about 2 of them. See, another onion thing that I just don't think you see enough. Like, we use it a lot to finish off plates, and I always had it in salads growing up. But it's got so many other, like, if you don't use a whole onion all the time, this is a great substitute for that. I get a little ambitious with this and sometimes don't get all the way through. I'm trying to remember to put that in the trash and not in my potato coating. This will be something we will toss the potatoes with after they come off the grill. And the reason why we're grilling them is we want to try and get some of that crunchy texture on the outside of it. You could do this and then do them in the oven if you don't have a grill available to you. So, well, thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for your subscription. Yay! That was your dad.
Is she spinning the wheel?
Oh, right. Somebody's got it. Just
Or
puppy treats.
Or
is Robbie spinning the wheel? Or am I spinning the wheel?
Super sour warheads.
Yeah. All sorts of things. Just offer us something and we'll do it. Because we had Chunks was like, I don't want to make anybody spin the wheel. If you're new here, we have a wheel that's kind of behind me that's got like peppers and hot sauce and stuff on it. And you can make one of us spin that wheel, or you can give the puppies treats. Or we have some extreme sour warheads that came courtesy of Aladdin's girl, who was in here. I don't know if she's still here. Are you still here? And you can just make one of us do those.
And they are sour.
Yeah, I think that's another good emote there. Either the hot pepper or the sour warhead face would be good. Aha! That's the garlic. So I'm going to pull that out of the oven so that can start to cool. Would you like to start the...
Rocky and I will start to cook. Yes.
Okay. So here is the garlic in its foil. And I'm just going to let that sit. I can smell it. It smells so good. I'm
So
going
I
to
think
use
that's the alert from last week, actually. From him. I think he figured out the video.
That's good. That's good. So, let's see here. Do I need any more of these? I'm just thinking, because if I do, I don't think I do. So we'll stick those over there. I'll cut them up later and have them ready for salads this week. So the potatoes are going. Now we just need to wait for those to boil for a few minutes. And while that is going, I'm going to get started on the Kale Gratin. So kind of like you're going to get that cheesy flavor because it's got a lot of cheese in it. It's got cream cheese and provolone in it. But you're going to get the benefits of the kale from it. So you could, puppy treats are fine. Thank you, Bob. So we'll have Robbie do that when he gets back in. So you could use spinach in this or some other green if you wanted to. So this recipe is one of the ones from Michael Simon, and he uses kale in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to actually start heating up. I'm going to trade places with these. I think you guys can see that over there, and hopefully that's not in the way too much. So I'm going to heat some olive oil up over this cast iron because we're actually going to cook it in this cast iron in the oven at 400. So I've got my oven going to 400 for this. Your dad wants to get the dog's puppy treats.
Excellent.
He's very happy about that. And so that's going to get that, and we're going to put some onions in here and let the onions kind of cook down a little bit. And once they do, we're going to add the garlic and the kale. His recipe calls for 2 pounds of kale. I do not have 2 pounds of kale. I have got about a pound of kale here, and I'm using baby kale. I like the texture of it better. So that's it. There we go. Thank you for doing that over our
Oh, you're welcome.
Perfect. So we're going to cook the kale and the garlic and the onion in this pan. And then I need to get the provolone out. I've already got the cream cheese out and softened. And then Bobby gets started on the potatoes outside. We can get started on the steaks, which is what everybody's here for, right? And I still have a salad to do.
Who do you think had to spin it more?
I think you probably spent more.
I've definitely landed on the habanero more. That's for sure. I've accused her of having the secret button.
But I don't.
I see.
It's probably pretty even because I was doing all the spinning to begin with. But then several people who had multiple months were splitting it between the two of us.
Yeah, so it's been pretty close.
Yeah. So.
I enjoy the love. Thank you.
I appreciate that, hot and ready. I do.
Hold on. I think I have the perfect emote for that.
Do you? Uh-oh. Is it that one? Yeah. He loves eating habaneros, although he has decided that he cannot do habaneros and a warhead back to back. Not good for his stomach at all. So.
No, that was a really bad day.
Alright, we're gonna put some garlic in here. So, olive oil is an anti-inflammatory. So whenever I'm looking out for that, I cook things like my eggs and everything. I try to cook everything in olive oil that I can, and I use butter just for flavoring. So we will be using butter tonight in the sauce, the red wine reduction, because olive oil just wouldn't cut it. You would get that same fattiness and that same flavor. I have to tell you, like, when I did the 10-day fix, and I'm not trying to sell it or anything, I really liked it, and it has so much healthy fat in it, and I lost so much weight, but everything was so good and so filling. Alright, put kale in here, we're gonna pick that down.
Lots of kale.
Kale it's supposed to be. This might be a little bit easier in a Dutch oven to get it cooked down some. Who started that fight over there, Robbie? Dogs are fighting again.
Who knows? I ended up.
Okay. This is only half the kale. I gotta put the other half in here in a second. Whew. And we're gonna get to the steaks.
And when am I
I
taking the
promise.
potatoes out?
When they're done cooking. Oh, I need to let them dry for. Whew, that's still hot. They're gonna need to sit here and dry for a minute before you take them out. But they don't need like 3 to 5 minutes each side. So just like spinach, kale cooks down and gets really wet. And so we don't want all that water in our nice creamy gratin. So we're gonna get rid of the water. So if you're ever like wilting spinach or any kind of greens, do it in batches like this. Otherwise you'll end up with kale or spinach all over the place like I did because I put too much in there to begin with. But I'm making it work. I'm going to turn that down a little bit because my onions are starting to brown, which normally I like, but for this I don't. I really want them to be cooked but not too brown. Now I have to say, growing up, I don't think I ever had any kale whatsoever. If we had a salad, it was almost always iceberg lettuce or spinach if we were being fancy. And I love my cooking, but I wish I had been exposed to more of that, but I just don't think my dad would have eaten it. Because my dad was very, very picky. But kind of picky the way a mature 5-year-old would be with food. Does that mean?
Trying to figure out what that sounds like.
So it's like he liked steak, which was good, and he liked burgers, and he liked lobster. But he didn't like anything fancy or fussy, like, oh, it has a demi-glace.
Yeah, I definitely did not have any kale as a child, that I remember anyway.
I just don't think kale just wasn't that big a thing unless you were like, right?
Mm-hmm.
My hands get a little dry, a little too hot here. All right, let me check the potatoes while I'm letting that cook. I want to be able to put my fork in the potatoes. Like this is like it's not staying on the fork, but I don't want it to like break apart when I put the fork in there. So, you didn't have kale until your adult life? I mean, did anybody have
Seems like things that often went back and redid because there's different foods and
That's true. Like different things.
you just couldn't really get before.
Like I think growing up, like you didn't find Caesar salads like on every menu out there. So it was like, and I loved them. We didn't call it that. What did we call it? Someplace where my parents knew the chef. The chef had a salad that was very much like a Caesar salad, but he called it a Circe salad, I believe.
Okay.
And you just didn't see Caesar salads on all the things. So when I had my first Caesar salad, I was like, oh, this is like that Jeff salad that he used to make. She also didn't apparently make you eat spinach, your mom.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember peas, corn, peas, potatoes, green beans. I don't remember spinach or kale. We had cauliflower.
We had spinach. And we did have cauliflower and broccoli.
Broccoli, yep, broccoli.
Okay. So that's pretty cooked down. Now, if you're not using baby kale, what you're going to want to do is strip the kale from the stem because the stem is too hard. This baby kale, so it's kind of like using baby spinach, so it's not tough. It's real tender. But if you are using full kale, big mature kale, take it off of the stem. The stem is just not good. It's too fibrous. So I'm going to take this. And this, thank you, Invoker. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. I'm going to stick it in here, but then I'm going to take it and put it in a strainer and let some of the liquid. This didn't get too bad. This is actually pretty dry. Usually there's a lot more liquid, and if you use spinach, for sure it will. You can also use frozen spinach. That's what I grew up on, unless it was a salad. It was frozen spinach. I'm making a mess over here.
What?
I know. Hard to believe. So hard to believe. I may need some help. Hang on, wait a minute. Maybe I got it. And I'm just putting it in here very temporarily to move it over to the sink. So very unprofessional. Kids, don't do this at home. Yes. Gonna make some pimento cheese. It's the best way to make it. Best way, unless you've got a store that's making it. Okay, I'm gonna stick this in here. Now it's hot. And let that sit for a second. Meanwhile, get in that bowl. And meanwhile, I'm going to test these potatoes again. I'm going to give them a couple more minutes and I think they will be good. Moving stuff around for me. And so, for the kale, what I'm going to use now is this is not a low-fat night. So I wanted this to cool down just a little bit. I'm going to take it off the heat for a minute.
Are the potatoes ready?
Not quite. I just said I was giving them another 2 minutes.
Sorry.
He's not listening to me. You can't see me. I'm over here. We got to do something about the cameras and stuff. So basically what I'm looking for here, when they get tender, the starch granules, they start to pop. So they release kind of the liquid. They start getting fluffy. And so I'm looking for that process to start and like be on its way so that when he takes them out to the grill, they'll finish doing that on the inside, they'll be fluffy, and then they'll be crispy on the outside, hopefully. I have not done this way before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever grilled.
Nope. And it'll really fast. Normally we could have another camera so you can watch him do that, but hey, turn on. There we go. I can't see anything. Hi. I'm not just gonna let these cool because I need to cut them in half. Okay, so they're gonna cool for a couple minutes. I'm gonna start making the stuff for the inside of here. The inside of the gratin. That's the trash bowl over there. It's quite like that. I have brought that over. So this is gonna call for a cup of cream. So like I said, not non-fat at all, and so clearly not a dairy-free product. And I'm going to have some cream cheese, and then I also want to put in here nutmeg, paprika, and cayenne pepper and provolone. Paprika's already over here. I need to get some of this stuff out of my way. I don't know, I was going to make a salad, a feta tomato salad, but I guess that'll come together pretty quickly. I'm going to put this off of the heat because this is cast iron too, it's going to still be pretty hot. So with that, this is 8 ounces of cream cheese. And that cup of cream, and this is going to make the base for that gratin. And then I need some paprika. Let's see, how much is it telling me I need? About a teaspoon. I didn't get my things out. And some nutmeg. Nutmeg goes really, really well when you've got like spinach or any kind of leafy greens. It's a great thing to put in there. And then we want some cayenne for some heat, which Robbie likes. Oops, but not that much heat. This is one of those things I will not pour directly into something because too many times you can't take it out once you put it in.
Yummy.
So this will be a little bit spicy. Okay. That is still hot. I need those silicone handles to keep it. Now I'm going to turn the heat back on, and I'm going to turn it on low because we want this all to just kind of meld together. And get all melty, and I will get the provolone out while I do that.
You want me to take the potatoes out?
I have to cut them in half real quick. Do you want to bring them over here and I'll cut them in half real quick? And then I got to toss them in here. These are still hot. That was terrible, Dana.
Just don't go too small or I might lose them.
If we lose one or two, it's fine. We'll just cut them on here. That was too long. We'll cut it that way. I was trying to get them all around the same size so they cook the same rate. Okay, if you remember, I put olive oil, garlic. I don't think I put, you can pour those in there. And I put a little bit of salt. And I think I'll put the pepper on later. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna pour, here, why don't you pour these out on here? And put them on the grill. Take some tongs. And then I'm gonna get this in the oven, and then I'm gonna make the dressing for the potatoes. So, oh, is the puppy behind me? Is he causing trouble again?
Is it like 3 minutes aside?
Three or 4 minutes aside. So Robbie's gonna go outside and take those half potatoes that oh, that's right, you haven't been here, have you? I knew that. So welcome. Glad you were able to join us with the steaks and all that. I don't know if Robbie did the command for the menu tonight or not. There was a lot of technical issues going on. And now I got a dog whining on the stairs. So I'm just gonna get that cream cheese all melted in there, and then we're gonna add the kale back in. And we're gonna put provolone on the top of it. So that's not gonna get melted in. And it's supposed to be about half a cup. That should be enough. We've got so much cheese. We still have hatch cheddar in there from our hatch chili episodes. So I need to get cooking with some cheese. I was watching somebody who cooks, and I won't name who they were, but they were like, they don't like cheese. Which is crazy to me. Like, I get that you don't like certain kinds of cheese, or maybe don't like a lot of cheese, but to not like cheese at all, to gag when you're trying to eat cheese, I don't get it. I always think more cheese is better. Not always, but a lot of times. Is it on there? I know, look at that. So I think too, what's going to be good about this gratin, if you really want to, you could actually probably use this as a dip. You know, I bought tortilla chips just in case Robbie wanted to test them. So your wife does not like cheese. See, I don't get that. What's not to like about cheese?
Some people don't like chocolate, or
Which is also very strange.
I'm assuming someone out there that doesn't like pizza or ice cream.
This is all sacrilege. Right.
Just like I don't really care for liver, and some people might love liver.
Some people do love liver.
Like my own mother.
I know. But you would like pate.
Probably. I haven't tried it in a very long time.
All right. So you can see this is very au gratin because I didn't reduce all the other ingredients even though I had less kale. But make your choice. What do you want to use in there? Now I'm just going to take some of this provolone, and rather than trying to shred it because it's sliced, because believe it or not, like in the deli, they only had sliced provolone. We're going to just put that on the top, and we're going to stick it in the oven and let it get all bubbly and cook through, and I think that'd be good. I think you could even put in some things like artichokes if you wanted to.
Yummy.
I don't know, what else could you put in there?
More cheese.
More cheese.
Oh, right. I need to go turn the potatoes.
The power of cheese, yeah. Yep, I don't get it either. Otis is whining because he's on the stairs, and it's really just so that he doesn't get attacked by the velociraptor. All right, into the oven goes. 400 degrees, 20 minutes. And as you can see, it's really not that difficult of a recipe. And I really think you could, if you wanted to do like a spinach artichoke dip, just take this and use spinach instead of kale. But it's got, you know, you can say, but I'm eating my kale, I'm eating my spinach. And so therefore it must be healthy. Liver, I have to say I love pâtés and stuff, but I've never had liver and onions that I just loved it, and I don't really know how to clean it. So I would need lessons on that to make sure. Okay, I'm gonna go stick this in the oven. So I can move on to the next phase here. And I set my timer correctly this time. So yay! Yay for me. Okay, I don't think, there's my pocket. Okay, I don't think I'm going to need any more of that. Meanwhile, I'm going to open this up and show you my roasted garlic. This is not the best way to wrap it up. But I think we were both frustrated at the beginning with these sounds and stuff like that. So I've got this nice roasted garlic.
I'm very sorry to report I lost one of the potatoes.
It will survive. Alright, we're going to need that when we're doing sauce for the steak. This I can put away in the dishes for Robbie because he loves to do this. Okay, so for the rest of the potatoes in here, I'm going to put some scallions, about 1/4 cup. In there, we're going to put just 2 tablespoons of these shallots. I think that if you put more shallots in, because these shallots aren't cooked, it really overpowered with the onion flavor. So we just want a little bit of each of those. We're going to need some mustard, which I have not gotten out yet. Where is? It's supposed to be whole grain mustard. There it is. So we're going to put a little bit of that in here as well. Where's my recipe? There it is. About a tablespoon. I'm going to put the pepper in here. And the reason why I didn't put it on the potatoes is because sometimes the grill probably would have been okay, but sometimes you get a little over, like it can start to burn. We're going to put a little bit more olive oil in here. A little bit more garlic. Again, we don't want to overpower the cooked garlic flavor with the raw garlic flavor. And then, oh, I need to give you a lemon to throw on the grill. I've got a Meyer lemon here.
Okay.
So just
Down.
Okay.
You said like 3 minutes aside on the potatoes?
3 or 4 minutes aside. I think we've now said that like 5 times to you, for you guys. And meanwhile, I suppose I'm going to make a salad. Do I need to make the salad, or do you think this is enough food? Because I think this is enough food. So, the guy tells the little girl, I don't like cheese. Yeah, so people need to like, I mean, you don't have to like what you don't like, but I just find it odd that you can say I don't like cheese across the border, because cheese is like, I don't like a lot of the like more like a Stilton cheese. If it's a little bit in something, that's fine, but you know, some people will take a lot of it and eat it, and that's just too strong of a cheese. But cheeses come in all different textures and flavors, everything from super mild, like a mozzarella, to the really sharp cheddars and the goat cheeses. I mean, to say I don't like cheese across the board is kind of a weird thing to me, because there's so many different kinds of cheese. So, so there you go. So this is going to be our. We're going to toss the potatoes in this when they come off the grill.
Want those on a clean plate or back on my pan?
They were already cooked. They can go back on the pan. Or you know what you do? You can just stick them in here because that's what we got to go into. How's that? Ooh.
Consider that.
As long as I don't give him another dish, he's fine. I just got this from him. He goes
I roll.
like that. I roll. Somebody should put that emote up for him. So I do have a small kitchen garden out back. The vegetables are this year because I haven't been doing it for a while. But I'm going to, the salad that I'm going to make, and I'm just going to be a real quick salad, is going to have mint, which came out of my garden. And I'm also going to use oregano and rosemary. I know, you're whining, buddy. You're good. It's such a professional stream, isn't it, with dogs running around? No, I just threw that over there. So this is a really simple salad. It is just going to be tomatoes. The original recipe calls for apricots. I could not find apricots. So I picked up these two things. So this is a pluot and this is a pluquat. And both of these are plum apricot derivatives. So I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use for the salad. So you're taking the kale and hiding it. I know, it's fun to try new cheeses, isn't it? Perfect. I'm going to toss that. Or I will. And the steaks are coming. Potatoes are now done. I'm going to throw this together real quick.
How long did you want your lemons out there?
Oh, that needs to get squeezed into that bowl. Not long. When you start to see a little browning on them. So I'm going to make a real small salad here so we can get the steaks done. We'll chop the mint up in a second. Oh. Thank you, Aladdin's girl. Did you hear that? Can you guys hear the screaming goat when we press the button for it? Your favorite cheese has little crunchy crystals in them. A lot of them can have that once the milk solids start. A lot of people think that's sometimes there is like mold on your cheese, but sometimes if you see the little white stuff, especially on things like Parmesan and stuff, it's just the milk solids. And it's not mold, it's still very good. I think I'm going to use the pluot in my salad. We had apricots. I love apricots. This will be pretty in the salad too. So we're just going to slice those real thin. And I've tried to remember what else was in the salad. Interesting, I didn't write it down. I've got it somewhere. Or I don't.
Which one?
The salad that I was going to make. It's tomatoes, mint, apricots, feta cheese.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it probably has a little olive oil and lemon, would be a guess. It doesn't need a lot. It's got a lot of flavors and the other ingredients in it. Hello, Secreto 911. I'm in the middle of making the salad. And then I'm going to do the steak, which I need to get the pan heated up for. So this is timing. Let's get that done. That little bugger is in there.
That's all for the grill, right?
That is it for the grill. Now can you do, are those still hot?
Probably.
Oh, okay. So by the way, when you put your lemons on the grill, what it does is it intensifies both the sweetness and the flavor of the lemons. So if you want like a bigger punch or a sweeter lemon when you are cooking things, throw them on the grill, or if you've got a gas stove, put them on the gas stove. So, and then we'll put a little bit of that in there. I'm going to put a little bit of this in the salad too, with some olive oil. And again, not too much.
What was
Cement.
that sound for that I just turned off?
The kale.
So it needs to come out.
Take a look. Is it bubbly?
Oh yeah.
Is it melty?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then it's time.
Oh
It's
yeah.
time. I would not put them on your electric stove. You'll end up with a great big mess. If you want to do it, you need to roast them. I would put them in the oven. If you have an electric grill, you don't have the. If you've got an electric stove and you don't have a grill.
It's huge.
And then, oh, the other thing was feta cheese. Now, the other thing is, I also like to buy my feta cheese as fresh feta cheese, because when you get it in those little containers where it's already crumbled, which is great if you don't have a lot of time or you can't find this, but this is fresh feta cheese, so it's not dried out as the stuff you get. It's just so much better. It's creamier than the feta that you get in those containers. So if I can get fresh feta, I'm gonna get this fresh feta instead of the crumbled stuff, because they add a lot of stuff in all those containers of shredded cheese or crumbled cheese. They have to put additives in there to keep it from clumping together. And I would just prefer to know exactly what's in my cheese. That looks pretty good. It does need the other pound of kale in there though. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Start the ice cream. Can you get the ice cream bowl?
I heard ice cream on my way.
Oh, and you were supposed to grill the pineapple too. That was the other thing. Oh well. Do you like the way I'm tossing this?
I can go turn that back on. It's still really hot.
Okay.
I will get that going.
Well, wait. Let me go. He's going in two different directions. I'm so very mean. Alrighty, so we're gonna get that started. I'm gonna first, before I get this, is slice up the pineapple real quick. Because basically what we decided, well I decided, is that we were going to kind of make these sundaes using grilled pineapple and the ginger ice cream, the ginger turmeric ice cream. So we'll send that out with Robbie. And again, grilled pineapple, just like the lemons, is going to intensify the sugary, sugars in the pineapple, the flavors in the pineapple. So yeah, it's good. And I cheated. I did not buy a full pineapple and cut it myself. I got the core already done. Already taken out and cored. So, but yeah, so hot and ready, yeah. but I think you probably already know, don't put them on your stovetop. Okay, there's your pineapple for when you're doing that. And I am going to real quick get my rosemary and my oregano chopped up for my sauce. And I also need to open the wine. Are you going out? I'll open the wine. It's fine. We've got those to do. All right. I can feel the heat off of that. So the first thing, you know, whenever you're doing meat on the stove, you want to make sure that. Oh, he did bring me the ice cream bowl out. Okay, please hold. I'm going to go stick the ice cream in the ice cream churner. Ice cream is churning. Robbie is back. And now we're going to start our steaks, and Robbie's going to open the bread now for me. Yes.
Which one?
You want to let that out? So if I'm doing a base for most sauces with steaks, I usually use a Zinfandel or a cab, if I've got it. Here are our steaks. And they are grass-fed. They are not Wagyu. They are room temperature. Start your steaks out at room temperature. Let's see here. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. And the only seasoning that's going to go on this before it goes in the pan is salt, pepper, which is why I was washing my hands. Is it really loud? Can you hear the ice cream churning over there?
It sounds angry.
It does sound a little angry. And I forgot to pick up ghee when I was at the store. So here, pour that into my hand. Since I touched the meat again. All right, so I'm going to ask again, just to see if anybody else is here, but what are some of your favorite fall foods? Normally I would put some ghee in here, but I don't have any ghee.
It's
Probably,
smoking hot.
yeah, olive oil was probably a bad choice because it has a pretty low smoke point, but we'll stick those in there. I got that. I need the butter. I need to wash my hands. This is when it gets to crunch time. Did I not finish my sentence? That's pretty typical of me. Your favorite fall foods. Like, it's fall, this is what I crave. This is what I want to eat. My significant other makes me this in the fall, and it's delicious. Or I cook this in the fall, and I love it. Other than pumpkin pie, pecan pie. So we have pumpkin pie, pecan pie, and pumpkin cream cheese bars. So they are, I think that they're going to be really good steaks. I'm excited. So I'm going to get a nice sear on this. I'm going to grab some butter. And throw some butter in the pan. Rocky, get down. If you want to add a little flavor while they're cooking. You can put some herbs in there. And the steaks will get a little of that flavor. Look at that sear. That is a good sear. Right there. Turkey stuffing. Kale potato soup. Ooh, that sounds good. Shepherd's pie. Definitely have to make shepherd's pie. Robbie will like it. Mm-hmm. Korean ginseng chicken soup. I have never made that before, but that sounds really good.
There's a lot going on right now.
There is. Yeah, these are going to need to cook for just a little bit more. Actually, they're pretty thick, so we've got a little ways to go. That's okay, because we're making ice cream. And I can do the pimento peppers while I wait. Let me get these herbs.
Because you're just searing that on the stove?
I'm sorry?
You're just searing the steak on the stove?
Uh,
They're going in the oven?
no, I was planning on cooking them on the stove, but they're probably too thick. They may have to go in the...
They are pretty big.
Yeah. Alright, I'm going to use this knife because I used the other knife. I'm cutting board with the meat. Alright, so let's put these in the oven. Can you open this for me? I'm going to go ahead. These have a really nice sear on them already, but they still need to come up. They're probably not even 100 degrees in the middle yet. So I'm going to stick them in the oven for a few minutes and hopefully never cook them. I'm going to drop the temperature of the oven because it was still at 400.
Oh, and like 10 minutes?
Ooh, I should turn this off too. No, I don't think 10 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah.
I'll get the thermometer.
So meanwhile, huh? Oh, he's going to check the pineapple. I think he forgot about it, as did I. So I'm going to take these, cut up a few more, and then get the pimento cheese going. This is one of the few times I would use a paring knife. By the way, if you ever have any recipe ideas, things you'd like to see me cook online, you can go with Discord. And I'd love to see what you would like to cook, or if you have a favorite recipe you want to share with everybody. Show me something you ate at a restaurant that you're like, I don't know how they made this, but it looks delicious. You can post it all on there. Would love to see that. Thank you, Fallen Age. You know, I could not do this stream without Fallen Age and without Robbie. We decided to do this with no idea how to do a stream. Not Fallen Age, that's why she's here. She's here to tell us what we're supposed to be doing that we're not, so I appreciate that greatly. Woo. And I can't make the sauce because the sauce is going to be in the pan. So I'm going to deglaze that with the wine. Because all that stuff at the bottom of the pan, that's the good stuff. And let's see here. I'm done with this. I'm done with these. I'm done with this. Let's get some stuff out of it. What's going on? A little smoky?
Everything.
How's is this audio still terrible?
Hear anything? Can you guys hear anything? One, two, three. Can you hear? 1, 2, 3. Better than if it's in your house. What is going on? Do you think?
I don't know.
We don't know what's going on. Like I said, this for like 40 minutes before we went on this issue. Okay.
Replugged the camera.
But it isn't working on any of them right now.
No. Audio was just delayed. It's still cutting in and out.
I'm hungry.
Other options to just come back on the other side?
Come back in.
Which we might.
In there and tell people. Is it pineapple?